sure Tiffany will cover it. I'm not an expert in that regard, but different states have different laws around tax sales. And so, like Georgia is different from North Carolina. I think one of them, I can't remember. I don't remember how to explain it. I'm not going to try to, but Talik, what you got, brother?
Oh man, just to reflect off what Tamika spoke about, on the first Tuesday of the month,
Different
of each,
states have different laws around tax sales. And so, like Georgia is different from North Carolina. I think one of them, I can't remember. I don't remember how to explain it. I'm not going to try to, but Talik, I don't know what happened. Talik, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, my bad, man. Sorry about that.
It's all
What were you
good. It's
saying?
all good. Now the first Tuesday of every month, on the courthouse steps, um, usually early in the morning, like I'm not really sure if it's 8 or 9 o'clock. Is when they had the public auction. And like she had mentioned, you got 12 months, and it's 20% guaranteed. So if they owe you 20% of it, plus all your fees and all that stuff. Um, so I used to go to the auction years ago. I never purchased anything, but I definitely read about it a lot. And then of course, you got the 12 months. But if they pay you ahead of time, then of course you get your money. If not, then like Tamika mentioned, you get the property, and then of course I guess you gotta file some other fees and stuff, and that's where the expert will come in at. But I mean, where you gonna get 20% guaranteed on your money at? And that's a beautiful thing. So I'm all ears, man, and just let her take over from there.
Absolutely, man. You made the point, Talik, that I was gonna make too, which is, 20% on your money isn't bad. Like, if you don't get the property, at least you get 20% on the money that you've invested into this. So it's a great investment either way. I know like with me, and some of you guys are familiar, but I used to do wholesale real estate when I first got into real estate. And I saw some stuff about like about tax sales, but I never actually got to do it. I never got into it. And my brother Shans, I think me and Shans was at the gym one day and we were talking and we were just start talking about tax sales too. And he was like, yo, there's a girl in the community named Tiffany who she's like, that's her thing. She does tax sales. And so he was like, David, me, Shans, and Tiffany were supposed to go to a tax sale together. They left me, yo. They did not, they left me. And I believe it's David's fault. I'm gonna blame him even if it's not. But so I don't think they got anything that time, but I just think it's a fascinating thing that we have the opportunity to capitalize on, and I don't want to say someone else's misfortune, but we have the opportunity to be able to capitalize on opportunities as they present themselves. One of the things that we were talking about in the community, I think it was one of the calls we had maybe a week or so ago, but I was explaining, or maybe it's when I was speaking at an event, but I was explaining about the millionaires are always made in times of like turbulence, right? When there's going to be a time where people are just struggling financially, but there's going to be some people that have already set themselves up in a position to benefit off of that. So everybody else is getting turned upside down. But there's going to be a certain group of people that have put themselves in the position of power to be able to take advantage of those opportunities. And, one thing Shaz is a nut. One thing I'll tell you guys is I don't like capitalizing off of anyone's misfortune. However, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. And it's just a part of life, right? So um this is a really, really good opportunity for everybody to be in the position to really be able to take advantage of the opportunity that is presenting itself. So um great opportunity, great opportunity. And Talik, I thought about you too, man, because with what we do in this real estate space with renovations and construction and things like that, we already have teams that we can deploy to go and get a lot of this work done. Um, so we're at somewhat of an advantage, whereas most other people that don't have these teams, they have to get a team to come in and get the work done. So one of the things I thought about too was in alignment with what we're teaching around the different forms of real estate, um, is I think it will be valuable at another date for us to also cover, like, how can you find good people to get this work done once you're in real estate? Because that in and of itself is a skill set and it's not an easy thing to do. That's why a lot of deals get get thrown to the wayside because the contractor dropped the ball. And I know, shouts out to my sis Tamika. I know she understand that clearly. But contractors, if you don't have the right contractors doing the work, actually, Tamika, you mind sharing a little bit about? You don't have to go into too much detail if you don't want to, but and I know you're driving, but if you can share a
No,
little
it's
bit
fine.
about the experience from the one from last
I
year.
knew you were gonna ask me. Yeah, no problem. No problem. So, one of the projects that I was working on with an investor, this is first time investing. He kind of went with the contractor that um, charged that was costing us less than anyone else, right, for all the work that we needed done. And this contractor ended up like he had people for like the first couple of days or weeks or whatever to kind of do the demo, but he ended up trying to do a one man, like be a one man, not trying. He ended up being a one man show just out of pure like greediness, not wanting to pay the other people they was working with. So what should have been um like a 60 to 90-day project it started in October and literally they're still going on now in where are we in July. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's very, very, very important to have the right people in place. And then also, what I've learned from this one, and I used to do, I just didn't this time for whatever reason, is when they can't perform at a certain time and meet their deadlines, that you start subtracting, like they need to start paying for their, for being over the deadline because they're not losing anything, and then I mean it's just horrible. But yeah, it was a horrible experience, not only for me, but for my investor because somehow that contractor got my investor's phone number. And so everything that I wouldn't approve, he would call the investor and get it approved. The investor would approve it, but then come back to me like, why are we over budget? And why is it taking so long? So it was horrible. I had to step away from it just for my peace. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely I appreciate you for sharing that, sis, because I think
Yeah, no problem.
it's a necessary thing, especially when we're talking about the conversations that we're having this week, which is around real estate and being able to get in as an investor or just really wherever you get in. We understand that real estate is one of the greatest vehicles of wealth that America has ever seen, that the world has ever seen, actually. And so I'm just extremely thankful. I'm really excited because this young lady, she's out here doing the thing. Like, she's not one of those people. I had a conversation earlier with somebody who we were talking about people that they teach something but they don't do it. They're not a practitioner. But I'm really excited because this person that has allowed us to be able to hear her share the thing that she's passionate about, the thing that could change people's lives. My sister, Miss Tiffany Tayus, she actually does this business. So I'm going to get out of her way and I'm going to let her introduce herself, tell everybody who she is, what she does, and I'm going to let her go into it.
Okay, what's up, good people? Josh, thank you so much for this opportunity. And happy to speak what I know about tax lien and tax deed investing, guys. So first to start off, I am Tiffany Tayus, and I am the tax sale expert. I specialize in teaching and assisting individuals acquire real estate through tax liens and tax deeds, which is delinquent property taxes. Now, first and foremost, I would like to know what type of who I'm speaking with. Do we have investors here, wholesalers? Do we just have primary owners of their properties? Who all do I have here with me? Not everybody at once. Okay. Well, I'm gonna
So
go
I
to
see
the
some investors. Yeah, you guys can. I guess y'all can unmute. Drop it in the chat. She ain't gonna beat y'all up.
No, I'm not. I like engaging. I like a
Yeah.
conversation. Yes.
Hey, Tiff, Talik, investor, contractor,
All
um, uh, you know, landlord, all the above. So yeah, well, not all the above, but just a little bit in the pot.
Absolutely. Okay, Talik, good to see you on the call, Talik. We also have Tamika. You're an investor, Tamika Crawford. You went through traditional investing, or do you know about tax liens and tax deeds? Do we have any wholesalers? Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I was just saying I know a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then we also have an aspiring investor, which is DeAndre. Okay, good people. So, just from my understanding, we have some beginners here in the room regarding tax lien and tax deed investing. I feel that tax lien and tax deed investing is the best investment vehicles for beginning real estate, for entry into real estate, because everyone doesn't start at the same place. But tax lien and tax deed investing gives anyone an opportunity to invest. And investing in tax liens and tax deeds, you're either going to make money or you're going to get the real estate. You get what I'm saying? But I do have a quick little presentation for you guys I would like to share. Can I get Sharon Cape? Oh, you got me on point. All right, good people. All right. So what we're going to be discussing, of course, is tax defaulted real estate. That's what tax liens and tax deeds is. Okay, guys. Now, just a brief overview of who I am. I am Tiffany Tayus. I'm a daughter, mother, sister, friend. I am just basically just like the rest of you guys. Some of us have worked a regular 9 to 5. We in corporate. A lot of us are entrepreneurs, but at the end of the day, we are all just alike. Okay, guys. So I am not any different from the rest of you. Now, I have plenty of books that I have created, but we're going to get back to that. I'm also a coach. As a coach, I specialize in a lot of different states. And I go all across the United States where I teach tax lien investing in Chicago. In the city of St. Louis is where I really first started. I also here in Atlanta, Mississippi, Michigan, Indiana. I am all over the place. Well, I'm investing in a lot of different states and understanding tax lien and tax deed investing. You have to understand that not all states nor the counties within the states are the same. Okay, guys. Now, I've also been in the newspaper out in LaPlace, Louisiana, with a group of investors where I brought people out there to invest in real estate. I'm also connected with a lot of different attorneys. And when I say attorneys, and specifically tax lien and tax deed attorneys, I work with them one-on-one. I send a lot of clients to them because I was listening to the young lady speak about contractors, how contractors are difficult to come by and to get the work done on time. The same thing with attorneys, guys. It's hard to find a good attorney, and not just a regular real estate attorney. You're dealing with tax lien and tax deed attorneys. These are special attorneys that you're working with. So today I'm going to tell you the history of tax sales, tax liens versus tax deeds, the 5 W's of tax sales, and I'm going to get a little specific with you guys. And if you like the content, I'm going to teach you different ways to get a hold of me, okay? Now, tax lien and tax deed investing is basically, this was back from medieval times, back when people used to actually have real estate that they had crops on and they used to farm on, and they would have to give a percentage of their crops. But when it was when it was a season where the crops were doing bad, they still had to figure out a way for these particular fees to be paid. And so they started putting liens on properties. And this is where it all started, that they would take the people's land and confiscate it. And some of these properties will be held until they paid, and some of them will be taken altogether. Okay. Now, tax liens versus tax deeds. Both of these two things are operating completely different, guys. A tax lien operates completely different than the tax deed. And so I'm going to explain the difference in how they operate. Now, with a tax lien, it's a tax lien certificate. That means you're basically like purchasing the debt to a property. Now, the debt is the property taxes. It's very similar to when you have a credit card, right? You have a credit card, you don't pay the credit card bill, and the third party will come in and purchase that from the original company, which is the tax collector, and now you will be the third party collecting plus interest. You feel me? Now, the most important thing you have to understand about tax lien certificates is that it takes first position over any other liens that you have on your property. Your mortgage is a lien. You understand? It takes precedence over your mortgage, over HOA, over anything that's even IRS liens. Okay, this is like a super lien that tax liens take first position. Now, the different examples of liens is mortgage lien, mechanic, HOA, child support, IRS, income tax liens, and attorneys actually put liens on your properties as well, guys. So that's how a tax lien operates. It is the debt that you're purchasing, not the property, it's just the debt. And the debt is the delinquent property taxes. Now we have tax deeds. Tax deed is the actual deed to your property. You understand? With a tax deed, the county has taken possession of your property by way of tax deed, and they're reselling it to investors at auctions. You feel me? Now, tax deeds are not redeemable. Some of them are, but some of them are not. So when you hear someone say a tax deed, that means that they're taking possession of your property. They do not get a redemption period. The property owner can't come back the next day or a month from now or when their income taxes come to pay back the tax deed to get their property back. They lose their property altogether. And then we have the redeemable deeds. These deeds allow the property owner to come back and get their property from you. But when they come and get it, they're not going to come directly to you, the investor. They're going to back to the courthouse. That's who's going to facilitate these transactions. Now, a redeemable deed, it allows the property owner a set period of time to come back and reclaim it. But when they come back to reclaim it, they owe additional fees. They have to pay you the money you pay plus 10%, 20%, 25%, whatever state laws have been put in place for this particular property owner to come back to redeem it. Not all states allow this particular redemption period, okay? Now, who, what, when, where, and why of tax sales? Before we even get into that, does anybody have any questions about the difference between the tax lien and tax deeds?
I do. I have a question. So,
Mhm.
with the tax liens, do the person ever like do they have to pay you, or it's just when the seller, like if the house is sold or something, you'll be the first one to get paid?
Correct. If the property,
And um,
I'm sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So if the property is sold, which means the property owner still has ownership of that property, they can sell their property, and you as the tax lien certificate holder, you are the first one that's paid out for the actual you're paid out for the amount of money you pay plus the interest that's been accruing since you've been in possession of the certificate itself.
Okay. Okay, cool. I think that's all because okay, so just for just in case anybody else has this question, but
Okay.
this isn't something Never mind. It's simple. Never mind. Okay.
No,
You.
ask the question. I'm here for it.
I think where okay, so when you say kind of tax like collection, I'm thinking and you I think you kind of used that I think you used the example of like a credit card. But this
Mhm.
isn't something a lien isn't something that somebody could just try to fight to delete off of their it's not it doesn't have anything to do with the credit report or anything, right?
No,
They
it doesn't.
absolutely at some point has to have to pay that tax lien.
Absolutely. Now it operates like it is put in public notice. So it is put on your property and is filed within the courts as a lien. So anyone can come and see it. You understand? So it is put on public records the same way as your delinquent credit card to be put on public records, but it's not put on your credit. It's put onto the property itself. So you can't do anything with it until that particular lien itself has been paid and satisfied.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, guys, so tax liens and tax deeds are a byproduct of delinquent property taxes. If you own real estate, you're responsible for property taxes, period. Let's see what we got next. Why? Because property tax, I don't know if you guys know that property tax cover a lot of different things. And that's why I think it holds so much weight is because it is essential for the source of revenue for your local governments, for your public schools to operate, for 911 services. When you're calling the police or you're calling the fire, the ambulance to your home, to wherever you are, those are services that require you have to pay for that. You feel me? When they're maintaining these roads and your bridges and your water systems, it's coming out of your property taxes, as well as parks, community centers, your trash collection, your public transportation here in Martyr. I'm telling you guys, this all is coming out of your property taxes. Go ahead on, Mr. Forney.
Yes, I have a question right quick. I never really looked into real estate or anything, but a tax lien.
Mm-hmm.
Say if I had a tax lien on my house
Yes.
and I never sold the house or anything, how could that person um, make money from the lien that they put on my house or something like that? I mean, so if I was to buy a tax lien from
Mhm.
somebody on their house that they pay or whatever. And how could I, make my money if they never sold the house or anything? I mean,
That's a great question, Mr. Forney. Listen, tax lien certificates, they have redemption periods. It has a
okay,
set period of time in order. So, like, let's say we're going to do tax liens in the state of Alabama. Alabama, they used to have a 3-year redemption period, but for 2025, they changed it to a 4-year redemption period, which means the property owner has 4 years to take care of this particular lien. Now, if the property owner does not take care of that lien, the certificate lien holder, they can foreclose on that property.
okay. So I guess so if I was to put a tax lien on somebody in Alabama, uh, maybe say 20,000 or $10,000, I will have to wait 4 years
No,
if,
you're
if
not
they kept the
putting
house.
no, you're not putting a lien on anyone's home. You're purchasing the lien from the county government. You're
Right.
purchasing that lien, okay? So in Alabama, yes, you have 4 years. If the property owner doesn't pay you back, you start the foreclosure process to get the property. But that's just Alabama.
Okay.
We
What
have
about North Carolina?
North Carolina, they do not have it. They do tax redeemable deeds, and that's a 10-day window. It's an upset bid. So it's a 10-day window where the property owner can come and pay, or someone else can upset the highest bid that was there, and then they can start the whole 10 days over. So it's a 10-day upset bid.
Okay.
They
Okay.
sell deeds. Hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so you understand why tax liens, property taxes itself is so important because these services has to be paid for, and the tax collector has to collect them regardless who's paying them. And when a property owner doesn't pay, these services are still being provided to the city and to those property owners. And so someone still have to pay for these particular services. Now, where these tax sales are being held in each and every state within the United States, and these tax sales are being controlled and conducted by your local county. Your local county courthouse, sheriff's department, and tax collector are all working together to collect this revenue for the city. There's over 3,000 counties that conduct tax sales, as well as townships, parishes, boroughs, and special district, and some cities have tax sales as well. Now, next we're going to say, when are these tax sales being held? Some are held weekly. In the state of Florida, they're having tax lien sales every single week. And here in the state of Georgia, we having tax sales every single month, the first Tuesday of the month. Quarterly is going to be held, some states quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. So like Mr. Forney, you're interested in the North Carolina market, contacting your local county to find out when are they having their next tax sale. You feel me? They may have them once a year, but it's important for you as an investor to know when are these tax sales are going to be held. Okay. Then we have who is conducting the tax sale. It is going to be the entity, the municipality that collects the property taxes. Here in Georgia, it's called the tax commissioner's office. I know in Philly, in that area, is the Department of Finance. Mississippi is the tax collectors. In Tennessee is the treasurer's office. Out there in Alabama is the Department of Revenue, and Mississippi is the Chancery Court's clerk. So no matter where you are, it's going to be called something different, but they all do the same thing. They're collecting the property taxes. This is where it starts, and that's who it starts with, is your collector. Now, this is a picture of the states. Now, tax lien states are going to be in green. These are all your tax lien states, like Louisiana. Louisiana has a 3-year redemption period. Mississippi has a 2-year redemption period. Alabama is 4. Missouri is 1. Iowa is a 1 year. Colorado is 1 year. Arizona is 3 years. So everybody is doing something a little bit differently. You feel me? And it's within the counties within those states. Then we also have in purple, these are tax deed states. Remember what I said about tax deeds? Tax deeds, the property owner can't come back and get it. Once their property is sold at an auction, the investor, the highest bidder, the winning bidder is going to actually start the foreclosure process immediately, which is California, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. See what I was saying about Mr. Forney, North Carolina? It's a tax deed. They get a 10-day window to come back, but they still got that tax deed. Mr. Collins, talk to me.
So happens all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. I was just curious, when you go and like purchase the tax lien, or you acquire the property, is the process the same as if you were buying a home? Like, do you finance it and things like that, or is it people have a set amount that they put down, and that's just for the highest bidder, boom, sold? Or do you get a portion of time to pay that full amount? How does that work?
So listen, like I was saying, Ms. Collins, every state is a little bit different, right? So like here in Georgia, we have a couple of counties here in Georgia that don't go by the 1-year redemption period. They're gonna do a 90-day redemption period. I've been to auctions in the city of St. Louis, which is a tax deed. A lot of these counties, they're doing the foreclosure process for you, or it's like, let me explain it to you. You don't need a closing attorney. You don't need any of that type of stuff, or no particular financing when you're dealing with tax liens and tax deeds. I've purchased lots of land in Indiana for $25 a piece, all adjacent to each other. And my attorney, even though we cool, my attorney, she charged me $700 for each one of those properties. I'm like, well, dang, sis, that's more than what I paid for the property. But you understand what I'm saying? Tax liens in the state of Mississippi, the property taxes are extremely cheap, like $80, $90, $200 per year. And the Chancery clerk's office, they do the foreclosure, they do all that stuff for you, and all you have to pay is for the filing fees, less than $300. So this isn't a traditional type of way of investing in real estate, where you have to put a down payment or get on a payment plan or do any type of financing, none of that. But there are some counties in these states that will allow you to put a 10% down, and within 30 days, you pay the remaining balance. You understand? Some counties let you pay with a credit card. You understand? So being more specific is understanding what state and county you're interested in, and then contacting those counties to find out their payment methods. Josh, you got a question for me?
Oh, 100%. Hold on one second. Like, you can't just breeze past what you just said. You did not
Right.
just sit here and say that you bought multiple plots of land for $25 with the no, you no,
Listen.
no, 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 no. You
I
didn't
did
do
a
that.
video a while back. $25 a piece. And I specialize in stepping into different markets before other people start stepping into these markets, so I can see exactly what's going on, and to try to grab up as much real estate as I can. You get what I'm saying? So it's like when you find those sweet spots, you have to like wear it out. You have to be like, let me grab up as much as I can. But yes, I purchased 4 lots all adjacent to one another for $25 a piece.
Man,
It used to be
listen,
like
I
that
need some of
here
that.
too.
I need some of that $25 a piece land. Like, I need that. My
Nah,
But we
for
God.
all
real.
do. We all
Yeah.
do.
It used to be like that here too. Like you could get something for like $50 and $75, and you looking at the sheet like are like it's like it's not real. Like, are they serious? Are
Correct.
they want to pay the $75? But it really be $75. But I have a question. When you go out to get these liens and deeds, is it like I'm sure it's auction style, so you have to kind of um I guess whoever is the highest bidder at the
Yes,
time.
it is. Some of them are whomever is the highest bidder, but with liens, and depending on some states, some liens are you're bidding down the interest. So some states, you're paying whatever the face value of the tax lien. Let's say the tax lien itself is $500, and the percentage for that particular state is going to be 18%. But with the bid down interest, the person that bids down the least amount of interest is the individual that wins the property, which
What
means
is the
you're
down
bidding
interest?
you're bidding down the interest. So let's say you're in a sale, and most liens you're gonna do like a online sale. So with those liens, let's say someone does a bid for 12%, and then you come in and say, well, I want to get it for 10%. Then someone comes up says 8%. If you just go ahead on and put 1% because you really want this property, you'll be the winner of that property because you're bidding down the interest,
Mm.
which means
Oh,
when the property owner redeems, you're going to
they
get your money back plus 1% interest. That's
Okay.
what's going to accrue on that account. You get what I'm saying on those funds?
Yes, ma'am. Makes sense.
All right, all right, all right. So now also, guys, redeemable deeds, the property owner gets to come back to redeem that deed from you. Georgia and Texas are some very hot markets when it comes to redeemable deeds, because what happens is the highest bidder, what happens is when the highest bidder win their property, that tax deed at the auction, the property owner has 1 year in Georgia to come back to redeem that deed. But if the property owner exercises their right to redeem, they not only pay the amount that you paid, they also pay 20% on top of that. You understand? And that's if they even if they redeem it the next day, it's 20%. In the state of Texas, what happens is it's a 6-month redemption period, and they have a 25% interest that's included in theirs. So Texas and Georgia are very hot markets for redeemable deeds. You're basically paying retail on the courthouse stairs. Okay. And then we have the hybrid states. Florida do tax liens and tax deeds. Everything in gray, they do a mixture of both tax liens and tax deeds, okay? Now, this is the process. This is the real simple process of tax liens and how they come to be. This is the property, and we understand that the property taxes are due, and they are not paid. The county government, depending on what type of state they are, they're going to issue out a tax lien or they're going to do a tax deed. Now, once the county transfers these tax liens and tax deeds and put it on public notice, it gives the opportunity for someone to come in and bid on these particular properties. Now, you're either going to win money or you're going to get the real estate itself. And we're talking about for back taxes, guys. We're not talking about for the fair market value of the vehicle, of the property. We're not talking about the recent sales of the properties in the area. We're talking for delinquent property taxes, guys, okay? Now, what I got here, we talking about we going to court and understanding the process. And honestly, guys, tax lien and tax deed investing is really about mostly the paperwork. This is what you're doing is the paperwork. Hold on, this is an old one that I have here for you guys. So tax lien and tax deed investing, guys, you got to understand a lot of things changed when it came to the market, when it came to what happened with COVID. With tax lien and tax deed investing, though, the real estate market didn't change for us. It changed for the regular market, but it didn't change for tax lien and tax deed investing because it's not affected by a pandemic. It's also not affected by the stock market whatsoever. Okay? It's not affected by any particular financial crisis that we're going through here in the United States at all. It is only by the government. These are laws that are put in place by your local government. They're state statutes and laws that's in place that protects not only the property owner, but it also protects you, the investor. Now, for state specifics, we're going to go to the state of Georgia. Like I explained to you guys, Georgia has a 20% penalty. That's if the property owner redeems the next day or 364 days. You get your money back plus 20% interest. That's better than any bank. You understand what I'm saying? That's better than Bank of America. You know, like we like to praise Navy Federal, right? Chase and Wells. And this is the rate of return. If you have money sitting in these banks, you're not even getting a whole percent per year. Per year. You understand? And some of these liens and deeds, they're calculating interest every single month. You get what I'm saying? Also, it's better than a CD. If you take your 5,000 and you consistently invested in tax liens and tax deeds, the returns are tremendous. Tremendous returns on your investments. Okay? Also, let's see. Now, we also discuss in the state of Georgia, we have 159 different counties that we're able to attend tax sales for. And all of the tax sales are in person except for Glenn County, which is in Brunswick, Georgia. And they have their tax sales on govease.com. But all other 158 other counties are having their tax sales in person, and they're having their tax sales the first Tuesday of the month in the state of Georgia. Now, these are the upcoming auctions for the state of Georgia. I also provide tax sale lists for individuals that's in need of it. But investing in tax liens and tax deeds, I love to invest in them because of the fact that I can invest without going into debt. I don't have to have a credit check. I don't have to have bank statements, no tax returns, no down payments, no check stubs, and no W-2s. Listen, guys, for the first time ever, in 2023, I purchased my first property using my W-2s, using my income, the traditional method of investing in real estate. And guys, it drove me insane with how much I had to go through when I'm just used to just purchasing it at the auction and the property is mine. You get what I'm saying? And I was so frustrated to where I was about to give up on this house. You feel me? Because it's like there's no reason I should be going through all of this just for a house. When so many times in the past, I purchased a 3 bedroom, 2 bath on a full basement brick home in the city of St. Louis for $1,600. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, so the frustration that I had, and I just could not believe that people are going through all of this for a house. But I put my W to the work. I had to go through that process and do everything I need to do to get this house. But y'all, I was like, no way. I'm happy I got through it. But when you're purchasing properties, like I said, in St. Louis for $1,600, I purchased another one not too far from that property for $1,000. You get what I'm saying? And that was before the auction. So understanding you could still purchase the properties off the tax sale list before the auction even happens. You understand? Covering your butt and all that other good stuff. But tax lien and tax deed investing, you can eliminate all of this. I don't have to have a credit check, none of that stuff. You feel me? Also, let's go to the next screen. Tax deeds and tax lien certificates is the best entry level investment vehicles into real estate. If you're not going to if you're not going to actually go through the traditional process, if you're a wholesaler, and I say this all the time about wholesalers are not investors. I also say it's about real estate agents. You know, most real estate agents don't own any investment properties, and a lot of them don't even own their own primary home. But we look to them to help us to get real estate. You understand what I'm saying? So understanding this is the best entry level vehicle into real estate. That's it. You good people. Tax lien and tax deed investing. Do we have any more questions?
I have a question. So if if we purchase a tax lien or a tax deed, um, and everything is already free and clear, right? We waited our year or whatever.
Mhm.
There, a certain amount of time that we can actually sell that off from the time that we own it.
The
Outright?
moment you own it, it's your property. You can do whatever you want with it.
Mm, okay. And
You can
then
do
you said
whatever you
something
want.
about being able to purchase off of the tax list. Is that in certain states and counties, or that's
That's
here and there?
everywhere. That's everywhere. You can do that everywhere. There are also land banks where you can just purchase over the counter. I got a couple of liens just the other day that I purchased over the counter. Uh, no, these are not over the counter. These are just regular certificates I won at the auction in Alabama, Mobile County. And that's one of the properties here. So I just got another letter here. So these are what certificates look like. These are these long pieces of paper. These are tax lien certificate. It kind of look like these. They're on the same type of paper, the long paper, legal paper, right? So these two certificates, I purchased these back in the last sale, which was like in May. But then just the other day, I got this envelope and this letter in the mail. And this letter tells me it's Alabama, and it lets me know that the property owner has redeemed their property, and they want to, and we want that certificate back, so that hold on, there you go, right there. They want that certificate back so that the property owner can redeem it. But here we want the certificate back, and we're gonna pay your money plus interest. And so they said, please be advised that the property you purchased for non-payment of property taxes has been redeemed. To receive your refund, you must present the original certificate to you at the time of purchase. Yada, yada, yada. Do not mail your certificates to the Revenue Commissioner's office. Now, it lets me know, and it gives me a 1099, I'm sorry, a W-9, because they know that I've made money. I've made income from this purchase of this lien certificate that needs to be recorded, that needs to be reported. And then they let me know how much of a return that I received on the lien that I purchased. Now, once I get that check, what I do, I put it in my bank account that I have specifically for tax lien and tax deed investing and repeat it. Start investing in more liens and deeds. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm either getting checks in the mail or I'm getting deeds in the mail.
And
When
so,
you're investing in tax liens and tax deeds, yes.
do you recommend that? So for someone starting out, do you recommend that we go to the states that are, that only have 10 days to, right, DeAndre, that only have 10 days for them to come back and get there?
But that's the thing about it. You have to think about it like this too. What's your name?
Tamika.
Okay, Tamika. Everybody, we living in a microwave society, right? We living in a world where everybody want to get the real estate right now. You get what I'm saying? Which means that 10-day window is going to be good until the next person come in and submit their bid. It's an upset bid. So if I was bidding against you at an auction and I decided to pay and I was the highest bidder and I bid it up to $10,000. 10 days, within the next 10 days, anybody else can come in and bid up my bid 5% more than what I've bidded.
Makes sense. Okay.
And then if you go in and upset my bid, then there's another 10-day window for someone to come in and upset your bid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I
You know what I'm
misunderstood.
saying?
I thought you were saying that the property owner has only 10 days to come in. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but also during that window of during this whole 10-day game everybody playing, the property owner can come in and redeem
Mm-hmm.
and just pay their property taxes. So you have to understand what is your end goal? What is it that you want out of this particular transaction? Do you want to make money or do you want to end up with the real estate?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it for you, Tamika? Which one do you want?
Oh, I'm okay with both, really.
I know money is still good, right? But what do you want to happen?
Um, I think I think I think I would like to end up with the real estate at the end of
Okay.
the day. Yeah.
You would like to end up with the real estate. So that means that I would advise you to invest in tax deeds that
Mm-hmm.
have no redemption periods. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Like states like the state of California has no redemption periods. The city of St. Louis, it has no redemption period, but all the counties around the city of St. Louis are tax liens. There is a redemption period. So you understand that some cities within the state will operate differently than the other counties. That's why it's so important to do your research and understand how those tax sales are being held at the auction that you're planning to attend. Now,
Mm-hmm.
for tax deed sales, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going up against other people who want to get the property right now. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to wind up paying more money for it as well, especially on AB properties. You feel me? So if you're interested in tax deeds, I always tell individuals to start looking at the more CD properties because those are more overlooked than the AB properties because they will empty their pockets for an A and B property
Mm-hmm.
because they're getting the property immediately. Well, after the foreclosure process, your property, the attorney is gonna go foreclose on a property in the city of St. Louis. It's about $700, $800 to foreclose on it, and you get your deed in the mail in about 4 to 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? But also, outside of just tax deeds, you also have land banks. And land banks, you're able to get the property immediately, depending on the state and county. Some counties are going to make you jump through hoops. Other counties are going to be like, oh, how much is it? Oh, here it is, just over the counter. And then they're going to be mailing you back your deed. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So target the areas that you're interested in and the outcome that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I tell people to do a mixture of both, but just starting out, If your goal is to get the real estate, focus on tax deeds. And you're focusing on tax deeds with no redemption periods. And you're most likely going to have to start hitting these markets that are untouched, that people, or the poor areas, the areas before the path of gentrification has touched it.
Okay,
That's how you're gonna pick up cheap property. You may have to sit on it for a minute, but you'll have the possession of the property. We have any more questions?
Yeah, we have Talik. Talik, you are up next, brother.
Tiffany Caillou, the tax expert.
Yes, sir.
Look, you talking over my head, sis. You say A, B, C as if.
So like AB
So
properties
what's the
is
AB?
properties. Yeah, AB properties are properties that need no work to maybe small cosmetic work.
Okay, so A, B, small. Okay, small maintenance. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
right. No large. Okay.
Right. Those CD properties is those ugly ducklings up in there where, oh, I don't want to put no
Okay.
work into a house. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Need some real work. Okay, got you. All
Yeah.
right, but that wasn't my main question. My
Okay.
main question was, all right, where you gonna be at this Tuesday? You gonna be
This
on the deck
Tuesday,
somewhere?
this Tuesday, I honestly, guys, because I haven't told, I try to be real hush about what I do and how I move until after I've actually seen how things operate. I'm gonna
That's
hit
your
them.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're telling me. Let me get mine first. Then I got time for y'all.
But also Talik, plus if I'm teaching you how to do it, I have to know how to do it. I can't just
Nah, I
say, hey,
got you.
this is what it say online, and I have to actually be attending these sales. You feel me? So
Hey, I done seen you at them joints live, so I know
yes.
you was out of town this week getting it
Mm-hmm.
in. So yeah.
And yeah, so the whole Michigan environment, I used to live in Michigan, and I'm telling you guys, start focusing on these areas that are the worst areas. Okay. I live, I know all of you have seen the movie The Bluff, right? I live in The Bluff, and these houses are 500,000 and better now in 2025. Not when they were doing it when they were shooting the movie The Bluff. You understand? I had someone come and pick me up the other day. I had called the Uber because I was doing Wealth Weekend over there at the Marriott Marquise, right? When the driver came and picked me up, he was like, "Oh, you got me in the belly of the beast." I was like, "No, this ain't what it used to be, sir." So, but start understanding that eventually other investors are going to start moving out as well. And those areas that were very bad, crime-ridden areas like New York, they were selling brownstones for $100. Like in DC, it is impossible to get anything in DC right now. So you guys have to start paying attention to what's going on when it comes to real estate. We see this all the time. You understand? But we have to get in on it before we are priced out of it, before our pockets are not big enough nor deep enough to invest. East St. Louis right now, you can pick up lots of land in East St. Louis. I was helping this one young lady the other day. She was getting 3 lots all lined up total for $786. You feel me? So it's like understanding these particular areas. You have to get it while while you have the opportunity to get it. But to answer your question, Talik, I'm thinking about here in Albany, Georgia. Albany, Georgia. Yeah. I haven't been out there, but my first time going out there is to get me some real estate.
So are you gonna go ahead of time to look, or are you
Yes.
just focusing on land?
Yes. I'm gonna go out there ahead of
Or
time
are
to
you
look.
looking for property?
Yeah, I'm also doing research on that particular area as well prior to me going out. I have been attractive to land for the past few years where all I have been picking up as of late is land. And if a nice property was to come my way, I probably will invest in it. But I'm very, very attracted to land because I feel like land is the most overlooked. And the property taxes on land is very inexpensive and it's only going to appreciate. You feel me? So land is
Makes
my
sense.
focus. But if I find a property, I will. Same way I was in Michigan. I went for the fight, but I also went to research some real estate. Flint, Michigan. I'm definitely thinking about investing in that area.
Yeah, thank you so much, too. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah. Next, I'm gonna go next, y'all. I'm sorry. I'll let you guys go after me. But I have a question. So one of the questions was, I know you mentioned earlier about being able to use a credit card to invest
Yes.
into different real estate, or
Yes. Mhm.
I wanted to know. I want you to say what you're about to say too, but are any of those states like Georgia, Texas, and New Jersey, or what states is that you can invest into this with the credit card?
Now, the only state that I've had experience with is investing with a credit card is the state of Mississippi, but also the state of Alabama. And when I purchased through the land bank in the state of Alabama, I only can purchase with a credit card because everything is digital, it's via email. You feel me? Now, these bigger states are not going to allow you to pay with a credit card because these major cities, they're a lot more advanced. You understand what I'm saying? And they're getting a lot of fraudulent activities and chargebacks and all this extra stuff that's going on. They're not going to allow you to pay with a credit card. But the moment I found out Mississippi told me I could put a credit card on file, I wore them out. I wore them out. Yeah, I was like, oh, child, don't tell me that. But but from my experience, it's only been Mississippi and Alabama.
Okay, good deal. And I got a million other questions, but I know this is for the community, so this is for my people. It's not for me. So I believe next up, based off of what the order is in, I see. I'm gonna give Tamika privilege. Tamika's next, and then it's gonna be iPhone 6, and then it'll be Jag.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, okay. So if possible, how much would you think? I mean, how much would you say to someone
And
to
I'm
come?
sorry. I'm so sorry, Tamika. All right, I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay.
If you guys are able to turn your camera on and ask the question, that's better.
Oh,
Only from
yeah.
the perspective of the person of like Tiffany, because it just makes it easier for her to communicate with who she can see. So
Absolutely.
that's okay.
Okay. If someone wanted to get into the tax lien tax deed, how much would you say? I mean, I know you can't really say, but from what you've been seeing lately, how much would you say is a good amount to get started if you wanted to at least win one bid?
Listen, listen, that is probably my number one question that people ask. How much are you supposed to bring to a tax sale? All tax sales are different. You feel me? But the best way for you to find out how much you bring to a tax sale is by attending the tax sale. You feel me? And attending this tax sale itself, it doesn't cost you any money whatsoever. But you want to go in there and learn and understand the process and putting yourself in the environment, and you're networking and talking with different people out there as well. If you go to DeKalb County and let's say the starting bid for one of the properties that you looked at was like $1,000, right? And you'd be like, okay, I got $5,000. I want to come out here to DeKalb County tax sale and let's see if I can get it for 5,000. And they bid that bad up to 150,000. You know that is not the tax sale for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let's say you say, well, let me move around with this little change since DeKalb County said these are pennies compared to what they spending out there. Let me go out to Macon, Georgia, and your $5,000 get you a single family property that needs work. You understand the value of the property may be $70,000 or $80,000. You understand? You've done your due diligence. You understand that, okay, it may take, you understand how much it's going to cost to renovate it. Or you may resell it to another investor. Instead of you pay 5,000 for it, you resell it to another investor for 8,000. So you've made $3,000 off that type of return off the purchase of the property. You feel me? Even with the lots that they have for sale in East St. Louis. You purchase a couple of lots. So let's say it's the same one as the individual that I spoke about. You paid $800 for it. Let's say you hold on to those lots for a year and someone gives you a call because you know they be blowing your phones up, sending you letters and asking, do you want to sell this and that? And you sell it to them for $2,500. You pay $800 for it. You understand? It's still a profit. I've
Right.
had individuals that tried to sell me a lot that they purchased in East St. Louis. They purchased it for $300 and they wanted to sell it to me for 20,000. It doesn't work like that. You understand? But a profit is still a profit, and you're still continuously building, rinsing and repeating to build your capital so that you can start getting bigger and better properties as well. So, to answer your question, the way that you know how much to bring to a tax sale is by
Attending one. Attending one. And
yes.
are they like the other options that you have to have the money on site? I think I heard you say that some places that you put like 10% down and then come back in a time and get the rest. But
Yeah, they do that in Ohio. They do
okay.
that in Ohio. Now, and that's why I'm saying you have to understand how the tax sale works in the auction that you're planning to attend. And just because DeKalb County is running their auctions up to 150 doesn't mean Clayton County will.
Right.
Clayton County, their highest may be 20,000 that day. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, and DeKalb County gonna want you to register online before the auction. But Clayton County said you can hop off the model bus and walk up and start bidding. Just ask for a bidder number. But you register after you win a property. So understanding the process of the tax sale, even if it is a neighboring county, they're gonna do things a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you in Georgia?
I am.
All right. Y'all heard I might be in Albany, Georgia on the 5th, first Tuesday of the month. Who's the next?
Next up, we have Jag. iPhone 6. You guys make sure your camera's on when you raise your hand, so that way we can get y'all up. So Jag has his camera on. I'll have him up next, and then if iPhone 6, I don't know who that is, but if they'll turn their camera on, they can come out to Jag, and then it'll be Dre. So Jag, you're up.
Say that, my brother. Yeah. So, Miss Tiffany, I was asked. My question was, do you offer mentorship, like one-on-one mentorships, and if so, how much? Like, would you? Well, do you do it? And if you do, how much would you charge for one-on-one mentorship?
Currently, I am not having one-on-one mentorships, but I do have a community. I do have a community. It's called Scale Your Ownership, where it means start controlling assets by leveraging its equity. Scale is a community we have at school on the school platform, and for that membership, it is $97 a month.
7.
$97 a month. I can make sure I put it in the chat for you guys if you're interested in joining the community. We meet bi-weekly and we all about tax liens and tax deeds and acquiring real estate and or making money through tax lien investing. Understanding, guys, it's a win-win situation when you're dealing with tax liens and tax deeds because you're either going to get the property or you're going to make money, and money is good.
Gotcha. Are you thinking about doing it in the future, or is that just something you don't want to, endeavor at right now? You're too busy doing your own thing.
No. One-on-one investing, it does, let me say one-on-one mentorships, it does take quite a bit of time. And I do also work a full-time job as well. You get what I'm saying? So
Sure.
if I do offer mentorships, I'll make sure that I'll let Josh Earl know that I'm offering these mentorships. And also You can follow me on all social media platforms so that you can be updated and aware of anything, any events, any particular books that I have that's coming out, and stay connected so that even though you don't have a one-on-one mentorship with me, you're still learning. You get what I'm saying? Because I teach people how to do the work and understand what they're doing and how to start this, because it didn't just it's difficult to start where someone else already is. I'm teaching you how to start where you are. Start right where you are with what you have. You feel me?
Got you.
All
So
right.
have you done a course, or are you just in the books right now?
I have a course, and honestly, that's so interesting. What's your name again?
Jag.
Jag. I have a course that I am launching for InvestFest, and it's called The Starting Strategy, because we always hear in this real estate market, people are asking you questions like, well, what's your exit strategy? What do you plan to do? But I think it's ill will to be asking someone to exit when they don't even know how to get started. And a lot of people haven't even started yet. So how can you even understand how you're going to exit something that you haven't even started? So it's called The Starting Strategy, which will be coming out the month of August, which is next month, which is the
In a
first.
couple days.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm gonna
All right,
put my
thank you.
you're welcome. I'll put the link in the chat, good people.
Yeah,
All right.
Tiffany, if you would, also, if you would drop your, or at least like any links and stuff like that too, if you'll send them to me as well, I'll get
Okay.
your IG, all your stuff, and I'll put it in the replay so that way people can still get with you after this as well. So, all right, I think Dre was next, I believe. DeAndre, you're next, bro. Don't let that mute button win. There you go.
Oh man, it was kicking my tail for a minute. Hey, Tiffany, thank you so much for adding value to the community. I was today years old when I learned about tax lien and tax deeds. Yo,
Really? Okay.
yeah, today years old. Yeah, I'm a newborn. So, I'm a simple man, right? I'm a simple man. I like to keep things simple. All right. So my question for you, Miss Tiffany, can you itemize one more time for me? Can you itemize for me when you want to invest into a tax deed or a tax lien? What is the process? And I know you just dropped the ebook or the link. You answered my question. That's why I put my hand down.
Mhm.
But can you just say it one time for the people in the back?
What is the process of acquiring a tax lien or a tax deed?
Yeah, so you say, all right, for example, you choose Clayton County. You go to Clayton County and you say, all right, do I learn what Clayton County does first on the tax sale, or do I just go first and just see?
No, I always advise to listen, guys. When I first started tax lien and tax deed investing, which is so crazy, right? Listen, I worked for the state of Georgia. I worked for the state of Georgia some years back, and one of my coworkers, they was like, Tiffany, they got houses in Detroit for $100. I was like, boy, if you don't get from by my desk, and with that foolishness, he was like, no, no, for real. And it kind of stuck with me a little bit. So the next few days, I was like, Marcus, can you show me what site you went to find these property? What are you talking about? And so it was on realtor.com, and this was like in 05, 06, you understand? And so he showed me the site, and I was like, dang, these properties are cheap. I said, this can't be real. And so, of course, I went back to my desk and I started looking at these properties, and I was like, I gotta make some phone calls. Because mind you guys, I was in Georgia, but I did stay in Michigan for quite some time. And so I started giving some of the agents that was attached to those properties a call, and wasn't nobody giving me any information. And so I said, well, let me find a sister in here, somebody black. Let me find some black people up in here so I can talk to them. And so I ran into this one link, and her name was Antoinette Weaver. And so I clicked on her link, and we talked on the phone, and she was like, yeah, it's true. The houses in Detroit, like $100, $200, like that. And I was like, well, how do I get started and stuff like that? Child, I'm purchasing houses for $150, $200. I purchased 3 houses in Detroit for $500 and stuff like that. And so that was my first glimpse of understanding I can purchase real estate without financing, without credit, without any of the extra stuff, right? And so I wind up losing those houses to the city for taxes. And that's how I got into tax lien and tax deed investing, guys. You understand what I'm saying? So at this particular time, the city of Detroit, they had it where I'm talking about there was bandos everywhere, vacant, just trash. But I was buying them. And my mom was like, well, Tiffany, what you gonna buy the house for $200? It's probably not even worth anything. I said, but the land is, you understand? The land is worth more than $200. And so what happened was the city of Detroit was putting me on a timeline to get these properties up to par. And so I was like, okay, well, first let me put insurance on it. They said, well, in order to put insurance on the properties, you have to be living in the property. I said, okay, well, let me finesse this a little bit. Yeah, I'm living in the house. They're like, okay, well, we finna send an agent out there to verify that you live in the house because they have a lot of insurance fraud and all that stuff going on. I was like, never mind, don't even come out there, y'all. Don't come out there because I'm not living in it. You understand? And then the taxes, and then it was just a lot of stuff that started snowballing on me, right? So, but that's when I started learning about tax lien and tax deed investing. So when I started learning about the tax lien and tax deed investing, I said, well, let me start moving around and see what everyone else is doing. So I also lived in the city of St. Louis. So I started calling up there to see what the process was and researching it online. So I said, well, you know what? Let me start going to these tax sales. I was catching Megabus up to city of St. Louis. My parents were still there. I was catching Megabus. And this was back in the day where Megabus was putting you out on the corner on some random street in the middle of the night. You understand what I'm saying? And you hoping another bus is coming. You understand? So I started going to the auctions up there, and I went to those auctions for probably a good 2 years. And I started seeing what was going on, and they were selling billboards for $900. I was like, hold on, I got $900. I started thinking like, okay, well, what can I do with a billboard? So I started researching what you can do with a billboard and how you can make money with a billboard. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like just being in an environment gets you thinking differently and operating differently and having completely different type of conversations. You get what I'm saying? But I attended these auctions before I bought anything. I got acquainted and familiar and understood the process. You understand? And that's why I was saying to Tamika, the way you can know is by attending. You won't know unless you go. You understand? And sometimes even, and listen, y'all, even with that particular instance, I had been going to the tax sale for a couple of years before I decided to buy. I said, okay, I know everything. Oh yeah, I got this. I got everything lined up, ready to go. I wind up winning a property. And I bid it more than what I was actually going to bid, but I had to call a couple of people and say, hey, I need a couple of extra, some money. Go and put with this money so I can go and get this house. Because what I found out was the bank that I was banking with was with Wells Fargo at the time. And I just assumed that Wells Fargo was right up the street because there was this big building downtown city of St. Louis with Wells Fargo at the top of it. So I go over there to Wells Fargo building and come to find out that's not a bank at all. That's their financial services. You understand? That's their mortgage and financial building. Ain't no bank in there whatsoever. And no banks for Wells Fargo is in Missouri or Illinois, which means now I'm trying to find an ATM, but now the ATM, I'm already over my limit for withdrawing out of the ATM, and I got to have these funds that I just paid by 5 o'clock. And if you don't pay the funds for this particular properties you win at an auction, you get banned from the auction. I got banned for not having those funds. You understand? But the thing about it, it was a silver lining, all of it, because I was able to go back the next day because City of St. Louis tax sales last for 3 days. And so they re-offered the property and I got it for the starting bid amount to $1,600. And I'm just banned for any of the future sales that was coming up. So what I did was I had people come to the auctions and bid with me, but which was my daddy. And then my daddy started acting funny. He was like, "Yeah, Tiffany, I wonder what I'm gonna do with my properties today." "What you mean your properties?" So I was like, "I gotta talk to the sheriff because this is getting out of hand." Because my daddy tripping. He was like, "Well, who properties are these? My name on these properties. We finna stop this right now." And so I had to set up a meeting with the sheriff and they actually let me come back in and stuff like that. But the process, you start by starting. You have to start. You understand? We can pull up stuff online all day long. We can read all day long. You understand? We can go to YouTube and watch free YouTube videos and get free ebooks. And, you got to start going to these auctions. You got to start actually being intentional with investing in tax liens and tax deeds. So you can educate yourself while you're on your way to the auction.
I love that.
All right.
Tiffany, I want to respect your time. It's already 7:22. It's 3 more hands, but I don't know if you have time. If you don't, we appreciate what you've done so far. But if you have time, we could do these last 3. But again, based off how much time you have, it's already 7:22, and I told you 7 o'clock.
I'll take those last 3.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. All right. So next up we have iPhone 6. He turned his camera on. I didn't know who that was, but so you good. You can go ahead, bro. Is that James? I can't see that far.
Yeah, man. This is me, man. You got me turning my camera on. I look rough.
You good, bro. Turn that camera on.
You rough, man. You rough. You wouldn't even go answer my questions. I sure was like, man, how you doing, Tiffany?
I'm wonderful. Yourself?
I'm all right. Thanks. I appreciate you. Appreciate you for coming on this. This was great. My question is, I actually had about 3, but I'm just gonna ask one. After you acquired a property, do the liens that was on the property, like mechanic lien, theirs lien, or mortgage, do those still be on the property as well?
Listen, so this is the thing. So once you become so with a tax lien certificate, they supersede all the other liens, right? And once you start the foreclosure process, so the property owner did not exercise their right to redeem. So now you're doing the foreclosure process. And part of that foreclosure process, just like with the tax lien being advertised, everyone that has a vested interest in that property, including the additional lien holders, all of them are notified that this particular property that they have a vested interest in is going up for auction. Now, not only is it going up for auction, now you are petitioning with your attorney to actually foreclose. So now this property is being foreclosed. So if you do not come back and redeem this property within that set period of time, you lose all interest in that property, including the mortgage, HOAs, child support, mechanics liens, any of the liens that's on that property. They're going to lose their right if they don't come to redeem it. Now, the only other type of liens that may stay on the property will be like those liens like where they come and cut your grass because no one has taken care of the grass, like code enforcement, those type of liens, because they're by the municipality, they're by the state, and they're by the county. Those liens will stay.
Okay, I understand that. So you never had a problem where you bought the property and years later a lien come in or none of those things?
Yes, I've had that. I've had that before. City of St. Louis changed the laws where the sewer company wanted to keep the liens on the property because years back, all the liens would be taken away. But what happens is some of these entities, they feel like they still want their money. You understand? They're losing money. You understand? So now they're allowing the sewer liens to stay on. But thinking as an investor, the lien doesn't stop you from owning a property. It's only going to hold you up is if your goal is to resell that property. You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it don't matter if your goal is to keep that property, because once you fix it, or if you put a renter in it, or if you're going to stay in it yourself, understanding that if you have a renter in a property, you're going to factor in those liens amount so that you can pay off that lien. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, I do.
So a lot of people are afraid of liens, and I understand you're afraid of lien because you just want to sell the real estate. But also understanding when you're purchasing real estate, are you just trying to make money or are you trying to build wealth? And in my particular community, I teach people about building wealth. And it's not all about the money, it's about the asset and the value and the equity in holding on to the property, because a lot of people feel like the money is the bag, but really it's the real estate itself.
So you make me think I should buy land more than real estate, but
Both of them real estate, land is
yeah,
real estate.
yeah, you got a question. Yeah.
So
Thank you.
you're welcome, welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you. Let me
Next.
shut up.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for that, James. And I didn't know that was you, brother, but I appreciate you turning your camera on. Next up, we have Talik. And then after Talik, it's Tamika. And then we'll be done.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, back in the days, I used to, I'm old school, so I used to pick up the newspaper and look at. Now, I've been away from it for a while, so how
Yeah.
can I get access to it? I'm gonna focus in Georgia right now.
Yeah.
Actually, you got me ready. I'm going to Macon. Yeah.
How long I've been talking to you about Macon? Oh, I'm leaving the
Well,
country. I'm leaving the country this weekend. That ain't gonna work.
well, I've owned a lot of properties. Well, not a lot, but a few properties down there. So I'm circling the block again. So I appreciate it.
I got
And
you.
thanks for the motivation.
Yeah. But the it's still in the newspaper. It's required by state law that they have to put it on public notice. So they have to advertise this to the public. You understand? So every courthouse has a judicial newspaper where they advertise these properties. And in the state of Georgia, they have to advertise those properties 4 weeks before the actual auction itself.
Okay. All right. So I know like in Henry County, what is it, the Henry Earl or something?
Yes, probably that. It sound right. It sound right.
Okay. All right. So make it probably bib something. Okay.
Yeah.
All
And see,
right.
that's the thing about that newspaper.
Houston County.
Everything in those newspapers, car auctions, storage auctions, all of that, right?
Correct. Yeah.
But when you're getting it through the newspaper, it comes in the newspaper first before they advertise it online. So you get a running head start when you get it in the newspaper, especially if your goal is to try to purchase the property before the actual auction. Now, the
Oh
only
yeah, I
thing
forgot
about
about that too. Yeah.
now, the only thing about purchasing the property prior to the auction are those additional liens that the young man was just speaking about, because those liens ain't gonna go away if you're
They
purchasing
are
it
you.
from a property owner. At the tax sale, when you purchase at the tax sale, that's the advantage you have, where those additional liens will disappear.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
I'll let you know how it went.
Please
Hope
do.
you like this with my paper.
Well, I'm gonna pull the list up and see what you're looking at, and I'll see what you're talking about, what you're trying to get.
All right,
I'm sorry, can
bet.
you say that one more time, what you just said about the liens? The
So,
last part.
so the guy that was asking me about those extra liens, will the liens still stay with the property, right?
Mhm.
Through the tax sale itself, those liens like the mortgage, HOA, and those additional liens, mechanics liens, all of those liens, since you're purchasing a tax sale, they're going to be removed if those particular lien of those particular entities do not come back to redeem it. So everyone that has a vested interest in property can come and redeem it if you're the tax deed holder or the tax lien holder. So not only the homeowner, but also the mortgage company can come and redeem it. The HOA company can come redeem it. The mechanics lien that's out there can come and redeem it. So if they don't redeem it during that redemption period, they lose all rights to the property. But if you decide to go the route of purchasing that property before it gets to the tax sale, where you just go ahead on and pay the property owner some money, you understand? Because you're helping them out in their time of
Mm-hmm.
need, that
Mm-hmm.
mortgage can come back. That mortgage ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I
The
think
only
so.
the mortgage is only going to disappear is if it's sold at the tax sale.
Got you.
You understand?
Mm-hmm. I
So,
do. Okay.
and if it hasn't, if they don't redeem during the redemption period. So if you purchase it before it goes to auction, there ain't no redemption period, ain't no safety from other liens.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are still active out there. That's why it's so important to do your due diligence. And I know people say that word all the time. Your due diligence is making sure that what liens are on this particular property. You have to know that. You understand? You have to know if is it on the demolition list. You feel me? If you
Mm-hmm.
purchase this house tomorrow and next week they come in and demolish it. So all of these things is so important. You want to know what type of code violations do they have in it? Do it have black mold growing from the basement up into the second floor? And they have citations against it. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
those are the things you want to know before you actually start attempting to get the property, whether it's going to be before the sale or even during the sale.
With the liens, are they is there any or what are the other ways to find out if they have different liens on them other than using the like the attorneys, the title
Um,
attorney?
what I do, I just go to understanding that real estate is public information, and I go to the actual the county's website, go to the property tax site. You can pull up to see how much the property tax bills are per year. Because if you're going to be the owner of the property, you're going to start being responsible for the property taxes. You feel me? You don't want
Mm-hmm.
to get a property for 1,000. Oh, well, I'm not going to say 1,000. Let's just say you get a property for $5,000, but the property taxes every year is $5,000 too.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? This is something you're gonna want to know. So that information, all that information is available on, if you're in Georgia, on the tax commissioner sites and on the tax assessor site and on the code enforcement. Um, um, you can all of the government sites have that information for you. You can look under code violations. You feel me? So all of that information, all real estate, all property is public information.
Hmm. Okay.
Or you can invest in one of these sites, like a third party site like prop streams and stuff like that, and they'll let you know what information they have on their particular property, let you know um if there's still a mortgage on the property, how much is still left on the mortgage. So those third party sites, they make it a little bit more simpler for you because everything is all within one particular system, as opposed to looking through the county's website. Each and every county has a different site that you're going to have to be looking at and going through different windows and all of that. So if you don't mind researching on that level, it's perfect. But for some people feel that's tedious and a lot of work, they purchase sites like Prop Streams or REI Pro. I like REI Pro. I use Landglide. Landglide is $10 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes you to the county sites as well. So understanding that there are sites that's out there to assist you, but I teach people to use your free sites and then start using paid sites if you need it.
Mm-hmm. And that demolition list will be on the same So
And
I,
demolition is gonna be through code enforcement
no, got you.
and code,
Okay.
those code violations and stuff, yeah.
My question was,
And
we've
zoning,
heard like the, I'm sorry.
and the zoning department, all of that. You wanna know what the property is zoned for and all that good stuff.
Yeah. We've heard like all of the pros and stuff. Are there anything that you would tell us to look out for other than the things that we just discussed?
Sometimes y'all, when you get to auctions, you can get emotional. So sometimes you get into like bidding wars with people. You like, oh, this is a house that I really want. And you've already set the amount that you're gonna spend. Next thing you know, old girl next to you is looking at you like, no, I'm gonna get this. And then you looking at her like, no, I'm gonna get this. And before you know it, you done got up to 20,000 and you ain't got the money to pay for it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I had a house in St. Louis that I was bidding on, and I was bidding against one of these people who are always there, and he always getting the property. And I was bidding against him, y'all, and I won the property. And I didn't pay too much for it. It was probably like $2,500 out of pocket. But I had been doing my research on the property, and the last bit of research is going to the property itself, putting your eyes on it, walking the property and stuff like that. And places like City of St. Louis, these are type of properties you have to get out your car and walk around the entire building, because sometimes the whole back of a building would be missing. You get what I'm
Oh,
saying?
wow.
I did the research, and so now I'm putting my eyes on the property. And during the daytime, ain't nobody there, but at nighttime, the lights are on in the house, people hanging out on the porch, and I was like, okay, that means the electrical in there intact. I know they're using the bathroom, so the plumbing intact. So I'm liking this. And City of St. Louis got brick structures, so oh yeah, this is nice. You understand? So shortly after, because people know that they finna get put out the property. So I would say about a couple of weeks later, I went back to St. Louis. My dad told me that the people, he don't see the people on the porch no more, and he's ready to go ahead on and enter the property. I said, okay, cool. So we go into the property, y'all, and the door is slightly ajar. And so we walking in the property and we have to push it open. When I tell y'all, they had trash so high on the floor, it was like basically almost up to my knee of trash. Oh, I was trying to figure out, like, were they just standing on the trash? And it was like, what the hell what did I just get? You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, the electrical is intact, the plumbing is intact,
Mhm. Yeah.
but the dogs back in the back then boo-booed everywhere, and you'll be amazed at how people are living in their property. But those are some of the things that come with tax lien and tax deed investing. I think it come with real estate as a whole, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't know how them
absolutely.
people live. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you can go, they put out the list a while before the
Mm-hmm.
actual auction. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And,
I
and
remember this lady. Mm-hmm.
just be mindful of your redemption periods as well. Understanding your redemption periods and understand redemption periods are not the same across the board everywhere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Yeah.
up? What
I
was you going?
remember this lady had bought from the tax auction before, and she was so excited about how she was gonna build on this land. And she purchased it and went after and realized it was nothing but water. Like she couldn't do anything with it.
You
I
can get
didn't
a
get
boat.
like this.
You can get a boat, and they had them house boats, don't they? Where you can got to, like, yeah,
Right.
you got to
She
make
was
it
so
work.
hurt.
I've had
Yeah.
people that felt that was purchasing. Um, they were thinking it was a condo on the list, and you can tell that that's what they're thinking because they're so happy to bid on it. And pay attention to your crowd that's bidding with you, because they're them not bidding and you happy and excited about something. It's a reason why they're not
Mhm.
bidding.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Read
Mhm.
the crowd. So they thought they was getting a condo, but really they was just getting the small little patch of common space in front of the condo.
Oh no.
Yeah. And you don't research properties, tax lien and tax deeds property by the property address. You're gonna research it by the parcel ID number.
Okay. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
All right, good people, y'all. It's been a pleasure.
Man,
Yeah, this was super valuable. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
Tiffany, I appreciate you so much. And I just want to throw this out there too. You guys, I literally reached out to her last minute. And you know, like I have chill bumps, honestly, because I feel so indebted to you. You came through, and when I tell you the level of value that you have provided to me personally and to the community, and these are some of the people I love more than most other people in the world. So I'm so thankful to you, Tiffany, for coming in here and just being so free with the information, and really just last minute, literally last minute, like she was like, yeah, I got you. No problem, Josh. I'll be there. Let me just, I'll be there. Like, that really means the world to me, honestly. So if you need me for anything, like, I please do not hesitate to let me know. I 100% got your back. I promise you. So I thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I just happy the fact that you looked in my direction for assistance with real estate. And as y'all can tell, look, I can talk about tax lien and tax deed all day long, but we already know we on a time schedule. So for people, I am on all social media platforms. Tiffany Tayus, the tax sale expert. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
And I'm going to take that information and put it with this episode. So those of you that are able to go back and watch the replays, all her information will be there. And Tiff, if you can like message me any links or anything that you have going on that I can add to that to help people connect with you, then do that and I'll add it to that episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I still want to mention one thing, guys. I do have a workshop coming up August the 2nd and the 16th. It's a 2-day workshop. It's the Mississippi Tax Sale Workshop. They have an auction coming up on August the 25th. Very low entry barrier to enter these particular auctions, especially in the state of Mississippi. I'll make sure to send that link over to you, Josh, and you guys, if you're interested, you also get free entry, 60 days entry into the Scale community. If you sign up for this particular workshop as well, guys. Okay.
Wow, man,
Make sure you
this
get
is.
that link.
Yeah, make sure you guys tap in with her, man. As you can see, she's a wealth of knowledge. And Tiffany, I'm genuinely impressed, to be honest. Like genuinely, I know you do this, but I didn't know it was this much information. I text David. I was just texting Shans a minute ago, and I was like, "Yo, like Tiffany's in here going crazy, man. Like he missed out. Like this was." And I know you guys went to the tax sale together. He actually left me, but you did your thing, man. This was amazing. This really, this is good. This was really good. So I appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much. And shouts out to all the people in the CEO Syndicate, everyone that hopped on this call. I appreciate you guys for tapping in and for being engaging. So please drop some loves for Tiffany in the chat before she head out. And again, I will get this episode uploaded. And I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys on the next call on, what's today? Wednesday, on Friday. Tiffany, before you go and before everyone go, real quick, can you close us out by leaving everybody with a word of wisdom or some advice? And when you're done, we're done. So I'm gonna let you finish it out if you don't mind.
Okay, good people. So listen, tax lien and tax deed investing, it is going to be a way to actually start building generational wealth. Okay. And I know we use that word so lightly. I want y'all to really understand what generational wealth means. It means acquiring assets and passing those assets down to the next generation. Stop selling everything that you get. When you get your real estate, hold on to your real estate. That's what generational wealth is, okay? And that's what I teach y'all in how to start controlling your assets by leveraging this equity. I'll see you good people later.
I love it. Appreciate you, sis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess you don't want to sell me none of that property you got, Dan, but okay. All right, y'all have a good one, man. I'll see you guys on Friday. Thanks again, Tiff. I appreciate you so much, sis. I'll see you guys later. Peace.